Ian McEwan abandons the quiet, domestic constraints of the standard contemporary social novel and pivots brilliantly into the vast, melancholic tracking grids of a fractured, partially submerged future with his masterful 18th novel, What We Can Know. Billed by the author as science fiction without the science, this philosophically charged tour de force operates at the thrilling intersection of a post-apocalyptic campus mystery and a classic, razor-sharp psychological drama. McEwan structures the book across a yawning temporal chasm, letting the past, present, and future address each other across the barriers of time, to examine how history is recorded, how memory is corrupted, and what we can ever truly salvage from the wreckage of global catastrophe. The narrative tracking grid splits between two contrasting eras. The year 2119, the United Kingdom has been reduced to a collection of isolated archipelagos following the inundation, a catastrophic climate shift the descendants bitterly refer to as the derangement. In this loud, ruthless present, physical documents, libraries, and baseline artifacts have been swallowed by rising oceans, and a new generation obsessed purely with survival looks back at our century with fierce judgment and envy. The year 2014, a seemingly idyllic pre-collapse era where a messy, entangled circle of literary minds and shifting domestic relationships hides deep ideological fault lines, a toxic marriage, and an escalating psychological crisis. Our primary investigative asset is Tom Metcalf, a nostalgic, hyper-observant scholar at the University of the South Downs. While poring over the fragmented digital remnants and sparse archives of the early 21st century, Tom becomes deeply captivated by a legendary lost masterpiece, a profound poem read aloud at a private party back in 2014. Together with his colleague and romantic partner, Rose, Tom sets out on a high-stakes literary quest to trace the poem's origin. The spark ignites when his archival excavation unearths a series of hidden clues that lead directly to the private, discontented world of Vivian Blundy, the brilliant writer turned traditional housewife to whom the poem was originally dedicated. As Tom and Rose parse through Vivian's long-buried personal records, the narrative tracking template dramatically realigns. What began as a scholarly biblio-mystery shifts into a gripping, claustrophobic psychological thriller. Vivian's private reflections reveal a dark web of entangled loves, intense status anxiety within a toxic creative circle, and ultimately, a brutal, long-concealed crime that completely shatters Tom's assumptions about the people he thought he understood. McEwan masterfully reveals that whether we are tracking an ancient manuscript through an isolated, waterlogged future, or mapping the strange, deceptive evasions of our own hearts, the absolute truth about the past remains tantalizingly out of reach, suspect, fluid, and forever rewritten by the living. What elevates What We Can Know into the highest tier of McEwan's celebrated oeuvre, earning well-deserved comparisons to Atonement and Possession, is his unmatched ability to balance immense intellectual depth with the propulsive, addictive pacing of a high-end suspense puzzle. His trim, beautifully ordered sentences carry massive structural weight, capturing both the tragic pathos of an encroaching ecological disaster and the sharp, ironic humor of a vanity-fueled literary circle. It is an extraordinary, elegant exploration of marital duty, historical guilt, and the enduring power of the words we leave behind. McEwan maneuves that even when our physical infrastructure is lost to the Tucsonese of time, human nature stubbornly retains its knack for survival, redemption, and the desperate, beautiful need to know one another.